안녕하세요. Stray Kids, man. I really love that song, Case 143. I've been waiting to listen to more, cause it's such a good track, and everything that I've heard about the group and read about the group, like it's pretty phenomenal. So let's go ahead and kick this off. I'm going all the way back to Hellevator for this one, so I can see what it was like in the beginning. Okay.
내 삶은 밑바닥 떨어지 어두운 터널 속을 걷고 있어 내게 잔인하고 두려운 하루를 홀로 버티고 있어 멀어져가는 것을 목도 낯선 길 위에 지치리도 목도 없이 내가 많은 길을 가는 가이다 발치고도 하나 없이 위로 가는 길은 절대 다시 뒤로 가기 싫어 막막한 미루야 피눈물 대신 피땀 흘리며 나를 빌어 사람들은 내게 말해 그 정도의 도비는 지나가는 소나기라고 성공을 낳으려면 두려워도 실패라는 덫이 갈라고 그래 나는 고통이란 미끼를 더 섞은 채 방황하는 거야 지친 열정의 날개를 잠시 접어둔 채 떨어지 어둠 터널 속을 걷고 있어 내게 잔인하고 두려운 나를 홀로 버티고 있어 손을 밀어도 날 잡아줄 사람은 아무도 없어 내 아픔 내 눈물을 타고 위로 빠져나가고 있어 I'm on a Hellevator 날 위한 속이는 걱정 하나 없이 차가운 말들 뿐 엉터리 꿈은 좀 접어 포기란 말들이 내 길을 따라가며 절망감만 커져가 희망이란 하늘을 주변 사람의 손으로 가린다 날 살리기도 하며 버티고 있어 날 째려보는 따가운 시선들이 실성하지 않은 말을 잘 들어봤자 누군가의 광대 너밖에 안 남은 넌 가수라는 직업은 집어쳐 그 말을 들으며 약해져만 가는데 자신을 넓혀져 떨어지 어둠 터널 속을 걷고 있어 내게 잔인하고 두려운 나를 홀로 버티고 있어 손을 밀어도 날 잡아줄 사람은 아무도 없어 내 아픔 내 눈물을 타고 위로 빠져나가고 있어 I'm on a Hellevator 주로는 어디에 어둠 속에 갇혀있던 나를 끌어내 좀 더 빠르게 이것을 run away I'm on the Hellevator 난 올라갈게 어두웠던 내 과거 탈출해 내 깜깜했던 앞길을 비춰 미쳐버릴 듯 지겨운 시간 잊혀져버릴 때 이 길을 뛰어 왜는 나도 새로운 시작의 종소리가 울리며 나는 올라탔지 내 손을 작은 펜트하우스로 데려다줄 my Hellevator
Dude, Stray Kids is like a sick group, man. Like they're so good, man. I've just been listening and vibing to that one track, just Case 143, right? and because it's so, man, like it just goes all out, dude. Like you know, that three racha production behind it. Like every time I listen to Case 143, I keep hearing like, you know, things that I didn't hear the last time, and that's something that I experienced with a lot of K-pop. But that track in particular, there's so much going on, man. Like on every single level, and every single layer. And this is man, they're just sick, dude. They're sick. They're such a phenomenal group, man, and the fact that they do everything themselves, you know what I mean? Like they do all their own production, and writing, you know, composition, like they have made themselves, and it's just something I really do respect and appreciate a lot. This track is pretty awesome, man. This is really such a great song. Totally like didn't know what to expect. I try not to have any expectations in general, with most, you know, because it just I'm not gonna be anywhere close if I try to like guess what it's gonna be like or something. I know it's not gonna, you know, I might get in the ballpark or whatever, but you know, ultimately it's just not at all what I think it's gonna be. But man, I did take a look at the lyrics before. Sometimes I'll just read through the lyrics without any indication of what the sound of the progression or the track is really like, or the styling, you know, nothing. But yeah, it's a really easily relatable type of song. Like I get it. And you know, what's interesting is that, you know, you have successes and things, but you know, it never really stops. You know, the what the song says, you'll win some and you'll lose some, but you know, you'll always have to keep playing. And they've done well, apparently. I mean, because I'm thinking, okay, like with a lot of the groups that I check out their most recent thing, and then I go back and I look at like the very first thing that they ever did, so I can gauge like, oh my goodness, how much the progress that they've made, the success if they had, you know. And so good. I'm glad that they have been so successful. So this track, great chord progression, great piano sound that's used throughout most of it. I was not expecting such a awesome rap delivery, you know, the rap style delivery of the lyrics. When I read the lyrics, I was like, you know, okay, I probably intuited it to be more melodic or more sung, but dude, like they're sick on the rap parts, dude. I mean, just like, man, and in Case 143, it's also there too. It's a little bit more like melodic work, harmonization, a little bit more of that real singing that's going on. The chorus part in their production has that there's a vocal it's just a syllable, really. It's not any sort of lyric, but there's a certain type of compression on it, and it seems like they're using almost like a tape reverse effect on it, so you get that where it's sort of swells up. It's like like it's backwards or something. It's an effect that is very common in a lot of guitar work, especially like if we go back to the 70s, a sort of psychedelic type of rock guitar sound. They were experimenting with a lot of things early on, like in the 60s, and then by the 70s, they really sort of tried to hone in on that type of effect and create some kind of device for it. But it's a really cool use of that effect in the production part for the chorus. Really interesting color change in the bridge section also. It got a little more like brighter, it's a little more lighter, brighter sort of sound, because the bass in this is like ridiculous. It's huge, and it's also really sort of strong. Like it's carved out, like the way the bass is EQ'd. You can like sometimes bass is big and it's sort of it takes up a certain space, but it kind of blends, right? Like it kind of gets the upper sort of range of it, or register, the upper frequencies of your bass voice get sort of washed over by the higher frequencies that you might have in the mix or in the vocal. But this feels so like defined, it feels so carved out, like the bass sound in this. It's really interesting. Like it's very unique. They are very, very thoughtful. Like every group you hear in K-pop, nothing's by accident, right? Like everything is super intentional, and they've taken such consideration. It's the same in case 143. So in other words, from the start to where they are now, there's they haven't lost any of that. They have not phoned it in at any point, as far as I can tell anyways. If I were to judge off of these two tracks that I've heard, there's a very meticulous, it's painstaking. It really is. You love to do it, but it's like you put everything into it, so it's very, very cool. But it's a great track, man. This is like, okay, I just want to listen to it again, try to pick out some specific parts. The vocal is going off on this, man. The lyric is just going like it's 100 miles an hour, dude. Like, I mean, they just don't hold anything back, which makes sense. It for the concept, it just it totally makes sense. They're very, very strong in this. Like this is they're going hard, like really hard. So but it's it's cool, man. It's cool. It's better than I would have expected or could have anticipated or anything. So great sort of minimalistic intro phrase here. Again, that really nice low register, right? This is not that not that a high register is bad. It's just that in general, especially in Western music, as I said before, the male vocal registers have trended much higher for whatever. I don't know why, but they just have. So this lower register in the vocal part is actually really nice to hear. Same thing in case 143. I was just totally like, I just didn't expect it. I just didn't expect to hear that, but it was really cool. Great paired up, with the piano accompaniment. There's some other production elements in the mix that are atmospheric almost. Like I said, everything is super intentional. There's a very like strong bass drum hit at the beginning that has crazy reverb on it, that just like sort of rides out and swirls around, and you hear those again almost like a reverse refracted kind of tones that are going on. Very ambient. There's a lot of ambience in this track, especially in like the chorus sections, the bridge section. But it's like right off the start, I was like, I wasn't expecting any of this at all. That bass sound is insane, dude. That bass sound is like I can't think of anything I've heard. I don't think I've ever heard that. You know, not that way. Anyways, it's so like it's just so perfectly carved out, and this vocal is just this is going off, man. Like when I read these lyrics, that I can imagine them being sung, but this is, I'm like, what? Like it's very, very strong. Like I said, it's an excellent delivery. Oh man. Yeah, that bass sound is almost like it's so gnarly and distorted. It's almost like bit crushed at the end. It starts to like break up a little bit because it's just going so hard. Lots of ambient. Like there's the piano voicing that's carrying the chord progression, right, during this sort of pre-chorus section. And then there's all this swirling ambience and different little tones and chimes and things that are being thrown in there. It's such an ambient mix. They're really making use of all the space that's there, and it's insane dimension, man. It's insane depth. Like it feels huge. Like it feels really, really big. So many different percussive sounds, being added there. Like it picks up and it gets very busy. At first you hear these piano hits that are going, and they're going for full measures. They're going for the entire 4 beats, and then once it gets into the sort of second half of this phrasing here for the pre-chorus, all these percussive elements get added in, and you start to hear all the 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. It's like everything just fills out. It's so nicely, and they're keeping up the ambience too, and everything starts to swell and build. And this is very characteristic, I've learned, of K-pop in general. But it's just Stray Kids, man. It's just their production, right? It's just like it's sick, man. It's sick. It's so good. So bringing back that huge, just gnarly bass, right? And then you can hear that sort of tape reverse part that's coming in, right? Like you can totally hear that, and man, it's just the way it's layered. I'm hearing that mostly in the right. Let me see. Yeah. with some really punchy like drum, like snare hits and stuff, like super punchy, like a little bit more narrow than most snare hit sounds that you hear, but it's incredibly punchy, jabby even. Oh, nice. It's like everything's sort of like winding down. Almost, it feels like it's slowing down. Like, oh man, it's it's just so dynamic, so much contrast, so many different. Just it constantly changing. It's that quality that is in K-pop of offering so much interesting things that are going on as far as the sounds that you're hearing, and it's just their own like touch. It's just their own three racha production, and the rest of the group's delivery. It's just their own unique touch, man. It's one of the most original things, one of the most original sounds that I've heard probably ever. You know what I mean? Like,
날 위한 속이는 걱정 하나 없이 차가워할 뿐 엉터리 꿈은 좀 접어 포기란 말들이 내 길을 따라가며 절망감만 커져가 희망이란 하늘을 주변 사람에서.
Oh man, the percussion it's like drenched. It's got like tons of reverb on it, and yeah, it's just like it fills out all that space. Then they drop everything out, and you just have this vocal part going over. Again, just like contrast, just to break in the middle of the phrase, and then let it ride out, and then come back in. Just come back in hard. And I can't even keep up with the rhythms as far as the rap deliveries are going. Like syncopation, like, but they're not even worried about the beat, man. They're not, like, they're just flowing freely over it. I mean, they know where it is. They know where the hits are. They know where the 2 and the 4 is and everything. But they're just they're just going all out, dude. Like they're just not holding anything back at all. It's constant changes as far as the specific rhythmic patterns that they're all using when they have their parts, right? Man, like, it's crazy. It's really insane. Oh man, I can't even keep up with it. This is like what I'm talking about. I'll be listening to this over and over and over and over and over again, and it's gonna take a while for me to like really pin it down and like really recognize and become familiar with the specific rhythmic patterns that are being used on these rap parts, because it's just a monstrous delivery, man. It's one of the sickest drops, like, in a long time, dude. I mean, that's a sick, like, dubstep level type of drop, man.
어둠 속에 갇혀있던 나를 끌어내 좀 더 빠르게 이것을 run away.
Crazy color change on the bridge section. Like it's such a like it's a contrast for sure. It's like nothing in the track sounds like this up until this point. Even in the lyric delivery also, this like it's totally just sort of jumped up just a little bit, right? It's still sounding minor, but it's such a color change. It's just like it's totally different, right? And then they'll go back into it because it just fits so well, man. It fit the progression, the change up in the chords that are being used, but when it goes right back into the main sort of progression, man, it just it comes down to the writing, man, and the composition, and the production stuff is just like, it's just style, it's just flexing, it's just not, I don't mean it in the generic sense or whatever. What I mean is like they're so good at it, right? But it comes from an understanding on the very like the notes on the page, man. It and then you just have fun with it on top of that. It's very well executed. Like, just spot on. It's spot on, man.
I'm on the Hellevator 난 올라갈게 어두웠던 내 과거 탈출해 내 깜깜했던 앞길을 비춰 미쳐버릴 듯 지겨운 시간 잊혀져 버릴 때 이 길을 뛰어 랩은 나도 새로운 시작의 종소리가 울리며 나는 올라탔지 내 손을 작은 펜트하우스로 데려다줄 my Hellevator.
Bells sound in there, a loud like gong, just like so many different things, dude. So many different production elements. Dude, and then it just comes back in with that gnarly drop. Yeah, super cool concept, man. Like, Stray Kids is a sick group, man. They're just they're on another level. And it's like I said, like, so cool the way that they handle all of their own production and everything, and just everything is just them. It's just they're the ones who did it all. Man, dude, yeah, this is gonna be just the same. It's just like with Case 143. I'll listen to this over and over again, and I'll be picking out new parts. Like, oh, I didn't hear that before. Oh, I didn't catch that last time. What was that sound in the mix? What, like, little things are gonna pop up. Just every single time I listen to it, and that's still the case with Case 143. And this is just like, to me, what I see is that, yeah, they just have not lost a step anywhere, right? I mean, I'm gonna listen to more, of course, if really get more familiar with the tracks and the stuff that's come in between these two songs that I've heard. But they're just a sick group, man. They're just a sick group. Like, JYP being, such a beast when it comes to like production and things like that, and every aspect of it, really. I mean, it just, like, he knows just like he knew, like with Twice, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I know it's this group, right? It's this group right here. I know it. I see it. I hear it. I feel it. I know it. And Stray Kids is, it's that same thing. It's like, I know that these guys can do everything. I know they're on that next level. And it's just awesome, man. It's just cool. It's just cool to see and hear. But yeah, another extremely unique, totally original, next level type of production. The freaking rap delivery, man, is just it's crazy. It's crazy, dude. This track is crazy, right? But it's crazy good. And yeah, just I enjoyed everything about Case 143. I enjoyed everything about this. There's so many things. K-pop has become this genre of music that I'm really studying. I'm not, I these reaction videos, as we call it, but I'm applying what I know, and I'm trying to, extract information. I'm really trying to distill information about these songs and these mixes and how they're being done, how they're being accomplished. And the reason I enjoy doing it so much is because they're so interesting, because they have so many things going on, because there's so much effort and consideration and work that gets put into it. That's how you get something that is genuinely good. It takes effort, man. It takes work. It takes talent. Yes, it takes talent. But as the song implies, it is a trial. It is work. It is pain. It is suffering. It just is. But in the end, you get to really just reach that next level. You get to experience something that you can't reach any other way. You can't get there any other way. There's no shortcuts. There's no free passes. There's none of that. Okay? And the ones who do it for real understand that and recognize it for sure. That like real recognizes real. I mean, but it's true. It's a cliche thing to say, but it's true. And I mean, that's why I have a blast with all of this music. But Stray Kids is just another. They're another world, man. They're just another trip altogether, dude. But they're sick, dude. They're such an awesome group, and I can already tell this from the 2 tracks that I've heard. I've just heard 2, right? But I'm telling you, like I've said it before, this JYP, it's all peak, man. It's all good. You don't make it there unless you're damn good, dude. Unless you're on that level, you don't make it there at all. So it makes sense. It all makes sense. Yeah, this is freaking awesome, dude. This is all of my gym music is just K-pop now. Back in the day, it used to be metal, but it's all K-pop now. It's like gym mix. and it's all K-pop music for sure, because it's the most interesting thing, and that effort and that work and that energy that gets put into it is what comes across. It's what you feel whenever you listen to it and you experience it. And Stray Kids is like, oh dude, they're just, they're like, I don't know, they really are just like that Dragon Ball Z type of like power, like that Bleach type of like sublime sort of just like power and like energy behind it. It's totally infused by that, and everything from, like I said, the composition to the mix to the performance, the actual delivery of the parts and everything. It's just next level, man. It's just next level stuff. Okay, so I've done Case 143, most recent one, and then took it all the way back to the beginning with Hellevator. And oh man, dude, like I can just imagine, and I can imagine, but like I said, I'm not even gonna get close to everything in between to now. I'm looking forward to it because I know it's gonna be good and I know it's gonna be a lot of fun. But man, dude, I can't say it enough, right? There's no real way. And the comments is shown just from the Case 143 video. You guys know already what I'm talking about. You get what I'm saying. Stray Kids, man. Hellevator. Another sick track from an awesome group on every level.